The exercise itself was not peaceful. Our filming of the demolition exercise attracted the wrath of some of the people around. An official believed to be a member of the TDC task force pulled out a gun from a polythene bag, firing a shot aimed at my cameraman, signaling him to stop filming. It was a run for life. The heavy presence of the Joint Security Force alarmed residents as they looked on for their houses to be pulled down. The Member of Parliament for Tema West, which includes areas around Ajay Kojo, Natoshi Adom, expressed dismay at the exercise, saying she was not informed.
We have always told TDC and TMA that whenever you want to do things like this, consult some of us now you're representing Kofono. Say the beya bibiania, you know the kasa. Say yet negotiation be near beya, sabi, and nipa now beton assassinama. And to say nipa yam from swa, obiatimia sidan amanedu lintel. Where was TDC when they were building? We are going to go there and ask them for an explanation. Whatever it is for humanitarian reasons. As for me, I have a problem with TDC. It looks like TDC is interested in money and not people.
This nearly resulted in a scuffle between the MP and some security personnel.
So why don't you shoot me then? Why don't you? That is your speciality. Who do you think you are?
Residents are still in shock, describing the destruction of their property without prior notice as unbelievable.
Right now, what they have written on the walls, when we trace TDC, we can see final warning and remove. We can't see it. So it's not formal. So they are using their position today to suppress those of us who are inferior in society.
Can't you say a honey say netty? Almost a permit, 60 million. Maybe person no, 60 million. Godi, Sassy coming for 200 for young BB. No more Jessica, Mamma, your papers and my receipts. A day.
Some claim they have documents showing ownership of the parcels of land.
We do the process from TDC to TMA.
Did they give you approval?
Yes, they give us approval. That's the document that I showed to you.
Some of us, when we started the project, we have to inquire from TDC whether we can go on with the project. For instance, I went there, I met the task force leader, Anthony Kratus. So I asked him that I want to do some project over there. What should I do? He said there's no problem, I should go on and do the project. So
angry residents threaten to rebel and take the law into their own hands if the matter is not properly addressed.
When they come and sit there, they will hear mass murder. They will hear mass murder always.
George Kofi Ameyao is the spokesperson for the family which sold out the land to the residents.
So then if indeed TDC, you think you lay claim to this property, what made you refuse to meet the MP of this area? What made you refuse to discuss with the assemblyman of this area? What made you refuse to notify the family who gave this land out? What made you refuse? Do you think that TDC, you are a law court of your own, you can decide one day that we are going to demolish this structure and demolish? Is that the kind of country we are living in? The way forward is this. TDC should be someone with a family. Everybody bring their document to prove once and for all who is the rightful owner of this land. That's all.
Shattered and displaced, residents say all they want is to get their lives back.
Well, me koso na masese mugusu jibre na mohwe bedwem ewo Adom TV. So ebra so sem pense mu de ne de bro. Michael say Lucky Herbal Clinic for one Adaroma Monday to Friday. Ye de ebro ewo bedwam so ohe lucky herbal lecture kwa se dan de nyina meti yi wasitri no gomua ogwa krom Winneba Junction agona swedro kwantimpon so eho na wo lucky herbal clinic and as a Kanichi first light you could Accra Academy and Imperial odo hwe nim so ntine so on mabo say lucky herbal clinic or and na say odo ani kire kaso anso a nyanya adokwan so obehu lucky herbal clinic or yade bia adane kranko da so bia no fakodom mo say malaria eno achi say bia koku na friu and as a wapon wapo so ya nyodwe sichi ya bibi biara how biara fakodom lucky herbal for na wono enmo me koso ebo nkae se installer training no yegusu ebo nkae se on file form sa be fa 50 Ghana cedi emiamia me brobo si ho na ebidi se adwuma itema denu enkwanta yendi tachiman brekum nkoko don kokrom oko achimodan so anafe asimfosu anatakwa ho na santiti yede bema wawuni a woni gye ho se obonkwa digibox no yede dwuma no asua ho nimde na ultimate be part of us one yen kasa on 0302 211680 and 0244 340 415 and 0244 340 242 na one ye inni juma ka hunu se o pick your form no bia wono na ye kai down so adbe ye esade e ba so on the 18th of March to the 10th of April 50 Ghana cedi per form na o pick no uwie ni nyina sa nim de nyina wi a ti anancheche nyina wi a obenya certificate of participation and no be dia dance ye se wonya nim de ne titia o ye digibox no ho se eno ache ma ahyenso de me try ID card obitim de du juma okwanso nkoso na eno achi ye no atonsa abomu so edidi kama bomodian na be fa form ni bi wo miamia mabrobusi na bibibia entimi enkoso yakoso about nkae se book of condolence in honor of the late Kola Afeke Dumo ye bi ewo Joy FM front desk entino bomodian na fa ho ebiribia obenya ho bia no na so konwene ho nsem egu eso bibia enkoso ena nyame adom so a echina efri nonum nonan eko eno so ye memorial service sonko Joy FM anim ha ebe memorial service sonko kra enti beka ye ho na yenyina yenka ye nua be ma no bra radio to nsafrani na ye hwe se de ye numa besi beko enti beka ye ho efri china yimre nonan eko de nyina yensumbom na yemfanse twede amponyankopon se onfa ne kra ensi eye enti eto safre adofo nyina se mombe a part of this memorial service for the late Kola Dumo na bibia intimi enkoso ebraso se yede mpensem dwumadi no ebro mede o man hene club na santano pay nsemiensa ana ye hwe na anu da one nsensem beto dwa se o man ya hwe ne adoto ne o mayi a esa wo kire ene ebi impotini ko MPP amanyu ko nim se esan se wono so hu kotokran for kran shim no sa nyoma no aba hwe no adoto no yi a ebetima gibo ama o man Ghana wan hwe ya na yankoti asempa eni na enu ani nansa na panyimpa won so ade chopper abeto Ghana fo anim titru aban se nyoma na ebeto odwa no na emu hakakra na chese enyade a eyadia nam ne kwaso anisa enti no chopper afri sa so ekro na aba se ono ko onim no enyade won bedi sa eye dwuma na biem but ibe gina nsem no ono kan no so na de be masa dwuma we atimi aba on beka sansem we ebe hwe ho asabaka well statistical service for also akasa Ghana's economy slowed down during the third quarter in 2013 esika semon tutu ye ho nsensem no bonmu ase etima ampege yi sa ma yentimi ehon ntimi ahare DNT ne mane ba sa no ibedi sa enkomo no na fe Jake Sir John and Co are incompetent Kenya Japan Asin Central Mrashe Bedwani ana ono so ekasa efasa enseme ho as to de wo ne nyina so koso de ka ne DNT osu se yesu mo si nchen na afoforo mra no yebehwe ho asem na eno so yaka ewa no say but ma menka obi text message line here 1760 na ode abraham one misa komo ha no pay enkraman tema nim say Greater Accra 7 American NDC regional chairman also epe say one besa natina konyo no subiem dodo na eka se wanya chairman Ade one chairman Mache
Josu Mpome
but me Adom boko
fine.
But sounded with a lot of controversies. Only executives more challenge biana.
I mean, you have to treat this with contempt. I mean, it's contempt. I mean, you don't have to worry yourself to discuss these things. I mean, these things are just a brofo say. I didn't change. There's a pain in the something. There's no
pain in the body.
People just sit in their bedrooms and concoct stories.
No, I didn't nipa besa.
Well, uye bibi ne ye no be a person be DB. That's the problem.
Ufi said there's no
challenge.
challenge.
My brother, I mean, look, this country must move forward. We are always going back. This country must move forward. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The country must move forward. The beer coke be per position. That's the end of the story. I mean, this paper writing this today that you haven't even spoken to me, and then you write, and then when you do that, you are putting a word between me and certain officials in the party, which is not right, because they are all my friends. I want to say, these things to me, when I see that, I give the contempt it deserves. I mean, this particular paper, Inquirer, I mean, if you've been watching for the past 3 months, every day, whoever has given money to do that, there's an Ankasa. I think so. Sa editor is kind of debi otro or sorry I won't be about Ghana as some award do can development and the pay who care about people are ibubu or mudan how ever can adeko can any store and the 20 on the paper. I think there is making a sad mistake.
Right. Basho Kuvijuma. Apa is say?
Nyame adom.
Askwaboko.
Me ko hache. Se me nye mpio.
Na se kona o ma me wo.
Me ya mechiano so hemia me so hemia no pe
na ya bi mu zo di ma ora wo ma me le hwe mi o me ko na bi strong
na ya ni no so
I see na Kuvijuma clinic is a car clinic bibi akoska
o mu guso o mu ye juma gaga se je de hwe para no
but who should you know tema the akoso
enra ni nyina ehu Tombo Asikaka. Tombo Asikaka. A branch, you know, Miss and name on a permission. Na
cameraman.
And was Sako Hubio. And we see my drone from 2 more than power. So I just say, no, neck, I mean, I make only a cockers or Yamintu Anaka.
Are they?
No, you don't do that. We go through trauma, sana. So I just say. I can then move back a cool place be a more journable, but to send him back there.
Line of duty, no?
Or yeah, only a heartless, cold-blooded person.
Oh,
yes, or yes, sir.
Cameraman, right there.
Will be a 2 year D2, your pointed gun.
Oh, cameraman.
Yes, was Uncle Anope. Only I go with Timmy, I mean, I make a channel. Michelle, no, Ukraine camera, how can you make a hey? Danny, you are. Scassanum.
A line of duty.
A dear line of duty. Police phone soldier for. Even in the US, Omuko war. Name say Mrs. Here, Yamano Cotina trauma no be go through. Now dear Chiano's husband. Natural. Most station only panel was a heartless, cold-blooded person. I just said none of pain. Ocaso of a cockrana and so primanoco. Assigned to another thing. Who's a police crime? US, right. You know. Your desk duty. Yes, sir.
Okay, but Majority say, I shall not.
Me, the moon, which you have become, if I'm home.
You'll be uncassa, said you see now they 2 are mine. But your course on Uncassa, who is saying,
oh, no, you crew had on here on the material. I will say, I admit it. 18 years bibia said the enkratem and she share abruchiri omuyomu bibia. May I learn that in a very hard way because now me mayor. na me ba first na me say ho no dan to say New York big congestion so I say later on towards the twilight of my stay came in as sobered because when you realize a month for is probably about 13 years old na ntomabo no musa no kura baby but me hwe na no nshampa boa na msa kura trouble so na kwada 13 year old mental problems a lot of it here pa wufi obo okwa na the papa woni ba bia na papa wo so the people are nipa ni bi suffer pa yeah have a gap no between California here no emu chese eso nti so ye bibia na na ye take decisions no ye wo ba bia eho kama ye tie say condition bo so they say one way you assume say we are no say we are no but we do we no suffer obo ha one ne man ketekete bia baby no so because we power around that move bulldozer also my alternative so I say answer traditional answer na obey no say fa say Nyankopon disaster and the buyer anka ye be rushing na do akọ say moko pe blanket ma wo on the mitre no eti bibi say na answer na obey kra you inform na do say ye koye say na families na be affected no mama ye pe baby na fa won kugu at least to water down the effect of it eti no ye to ebo asikakra 2 minutes there am I want to how we exercise that 2 minutes. I'm not for suffer. I'm not for suffer pa.
I agree. Me agree. Say, in run for Sankrofon, I'm going to die. That's the first principle. I'm going to die. I mean, sometimes even though I'm more breaking law, my first question may be science. Most of these things, authorities, where were they? You say, I didn't try say, yeah. Oben sport be, be the fence, no, tabletop, ekusio, and then car repair, or the one car, ekusio. On munim say unauthorized bit. Second day, kiosk a biswo. Third day, now say container. But I keep asking, say, those in authority no, more money say or say monitor no. Where were you then? After the event, when did you have been, and then on 1 year secured, then we say let them move. It is our own doing. All of us, they be American, our attitude. When him say first and when him say this all the kiosk is war. But then the authorities too, the moment they see that should be proactive.
Omba bejiska wo.
Omba bejiska wo. We are then you say they should move on. I mean, look, we've been going through these emotions for a very long time. Planners, all of us. Me politics. Me person me can say MPPN. We Ghanaians. You go to other jurisdictions, look, they've got place for market. They've got place for bus stop. They've got places for all manner of things. And your baby and a market, and your baby and a sit down, a high industrial zone, a higher housing, so that if authorities that have been put in the place over the years have really been up to task, will not be facing problems like this.
But I have only been to Jibu.
And also can
any assemblyman.
And also can.
Assemblyman for so
oh yes, a lot of the kiosks. If you
space amount. Space amount. Look, me mommy feel than so man. I saw down. Go there and go and see what has happened there. It be fear no. And if fear na a kwano no. Now I ton at the kiosk. Since I will call a road not back when you see, and the house owners will say that place is not for container. But why don't you break your wall and put a container in your house? But in front, you be a foul camera that I saw down. Just go there and go and see. And so the place, baby, is so in the mess. Here because of that, people go to toilet, put their plastic and go and drop it on the street.
Wow.
Go there. Today, turn your cameras there. Oh, it's Yankasa. Oh, and then when we do that, then these things happen now, and there's another problem for all of us. So, like you say, when he was a mayor, you could see people have just. I mean, where are we going in this country?
And in fact, Nura, na me nya call. Me, baby on your repair work. I was Santa Soa. Will be the container. I could see me massages. Would that even inform me? It could be sa assemblyman and I and I'm saying Mukucha container. No Mufanje.
Look, Benjuano, East Legon, just Ufa Bridge in Asia. Go and see what that place has been done. Mechanics, just under the bridge. Ufa Bridge, that's bridge has not turned right. Flower pot, mechanics, more pavement blocks. That is such an eyesore. An eyesore.
So in all this, was here.
I don't know.
You're going to be brave, so almost be on crash. If you are ignorance, you cry training and we hear. Oh, maybe if it's assemblyman, be brave crowd out of ignorance. I am out of ignorance. Be brave. Officer, or you're hearing the opportunity to do it. Unim she share she share a cover side man with Lumina. Assemblyman, you know, also fees or assemblyman, also power so bit my. I will say it me continuous education. And why I am for near house of cheese. My update you on the latest rules, the latest laws. I said, as I will be doing it, say custodian of land beyond. I say basic land laws and regulations. As I quite now best in. I said your man yes Adiano. Uko Accra Hasia. I can tell you say the biggest problem confronting AME landowners. Biggest problem. I say if they had a handle on it, a lot of their problems will be resolved. But before I will realize na ya ton asase no ache am ubiquitous in. Meanwhile, no, I'm handicapped. On the material, very difficult for AME to know what is happening in the nooks and crannies of Accra, or why then the chance on it. Nipa na would not go to us or no here or no so. Honestly, ignorant is and also quite jack better and also you know. Oh, me okay, me now. Me a sister city relationship with Kruby or Holland. Now, me no could share and me catch on say every 6 months. Or my satellite picture, image of Kumasi. Me cover me no now. Na on TSC say. Me ko catch him go so on yes idea and home benefit in say. That's the media. Benefit in say I can monitor development within the city. Because nipa na also on here no or no kono be catch wa enye enough. Me also can look at the picture. Na me ma ya di huku to town planning for. Because town planning so through Ghana no we don't have enough planners. Because I can tell you into your kusia planning we are na ko no bank. You know almost so no in fact most of the district don't have planners. You know, a major problem. You know, it allow us to take a look at Kumasi. Maybe a kiosk war. The next move, I mean, I meant to buy you, I made free on a street naming and house numbering. But yes, started controversy, but yes, started later on. I know, so we are still struggling with that. But Quebec boy, I'm on which monitor with me, because rural urban migration is such a huge problem. Within a very short time, half of the population of Ghana will live in Accra. Half of the population. Now, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Because what we do is a kakana pockets underutilized. That's right. And so underutilized. And so come on, underutilized. Obi abidin crying. You need enough space to cater for all of them. So, it's, you know, say a young man for ants pa disaster and nam kwemobano. Yet to be handled. All right. You know, I accept
1760 text message line Fabra intem na intimi Jibre na yenkin kan enfama. Ye caught one episode na one asaba na one abaka sensem na buy no. Idea na emu ha kakra. Oh, me sure so oti buy edi kakra buy na aban mu kasa mo for kasa we di edin so beji atu na one say try mo ba one for I
read the initial report. I wasn't overly alarmed, but it was obvious to say statistics are only used to know and also. Maybe they could have let it pass without comment. Indeed, maybe who all the fuss about it. Obia can opinion. And almost some description of what is happening now. Armed robbery, we know first or project. Idea we should use it to advise ourselves more than because we know a prophet. I know which can say a chance in but you use it as a guide. What somebody in Ukraine? It means it's a police for. Any the social engineers away you come on. A caution. Papa no, Omuni no be no. Maybe if say more of an intellectual exercise than anything else. HSA the way they did their survey in Emmanuel. Okay, if you say well at the end of the information is out there. Me say me say hey sign I'm robbery by me caution. The other thing is that you don't need an Einstein or a brain surgeon to tell you. Where you have a situation, a lot of the young people are struggling for jobs. And potentially, it can lead to social upheaval. You don't need anybody to tell you that. Energy. Don't leave them idle. One of the things Kwame Nkrumah did, other societies have done. And it's a common call young pioneers. Open school, Yakomache, Kusian culture, say, keep you busy. Other societies, only young pioneers, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, young men, Christian Association, young women. Those kind of things are take some of the energies, a channel of energies into productive sectors, and then above from, and then young people, the only thing that they have, WhatsApp, Facebook, TV, very dangerous. And the social engineers should sit down, plan, and begin to develop alternative activities, a very direct on energies, into all areas, a bit more on that. Why we are looking for opportunities for them. Before say, ye societal leaders, ye focus on unnecessary things. True. So they say, but we don't have to go far. Any history, I'm saying, Kwame Nkrumah time, all young pioneers. Young pioneers, I remember, Badwam entry. No, so no, or ye Obia or ye we. Me, no, Bobra, or Sir Kwame. No, so Adwa. You don't call Russia. So that's all Kaiser meanings at a very young age. Oh, the better, but of the boss, probably what I'm talking about. Oh, a binum Kusian acrobatics. You don't go for a Chinese reform, my own church, and say this is paso, all of it, to redirect your kids, into productive areas. Obu Okran and the talent, and yes, of our professor. Now we are discovering, say, Ubechimi Abobra. But there were almost about 500 different types of sports. Ubechimi aye, Eddie Abobra to be a winning ball. But we will be a discus, Ubechimi throw. Obi oha table tennis, Obi oha tennis, Obi oha only how to swim, Obi oha only how to row on the ground. Ni other opportunities are. Why we don't have factories to employ them? Why we don't have enough banks to employ them? It will create alternatives for them He says, oh, Tijuana. Oh, I know, what's up? Hey, Nana, long time no see. No, have you heard John Mahama dancing with belly dancers? Yeah. I mean, we can't do that. We can't build a society based on flimsy and we. Yeah, one conform with me. Yes, I do. It's one more story. No, as much as say be a caution, it may not probably they may not have done it properly. But you never to your home say, just in case, say by any chance, a small can, no cry. What can we do to prevent it?
But say one opinion, just any organization.
CIA for all your mistakes. Oh no, I say Saddam Hussein, bomb of now. 18 of all those things, me will be no about cancer, I'm a gospel truth. So I say, but just in case, what can we do to prevent something like that? And at least, and or my warning, that was it. What's more can say, no, this is what we'll do.
But first, I don't know, indicators relating to Abana more O2 factors as a shiny program, and what I want you is it somewhat closer to the reality
or no new opinion? One can't just say, opinion or can. On any opinion. A buying crop for Swaba, has had your kind, yet the engine almost opinion. But more important, you're making sure that the Okan, it shouldn't happen. Because as bad as our situation is, we don't want to see a situation a man for which you can't turn it to chase each other. We don't want to see it. So I say, I would rather met me him than say me lose my life. I want to let's say, okay, what's my one 20, but we don't want it to happen. What can we do to make sure that as my work it doesn't happen? And I think that is the approach I see.
Chairman,
yeah, me brother, even though one phone have they disassociate themselves from this report, it's very necessary to say, as a country, be taking notice of it. Is it Tunisia? Tunisia, it was perfect. Young boy could join all the petrol gun or show no hone, or sparky the Arab Spring. No. But the bottom line is that your youth, we should start engaging them into productive activities. And it's very important because even some of our newspapers, what do they write about the youth? What kind of enlightenment, what do they put out there, the youth to me? But we wake up in the morning and all that we do to them, people just concoct stories and write about people. And those things can even spark misunderstanding. When we were growing up, there was young pioneers, Boy Scout. These days, you want to ask yourself, what are those institutions and available? Boy Scout, Women's Brigade. No. We don't, because people don't even project them the papers for other people to be interested. But when we were in school, these things were projected, and you see them in uniforms working or going on trips. So as a youth, it even engages you to say, oh, I want to be part of this kind of association. We have totally, I don't know, whether our time, from independence up to, let's say, the early 70s, there was a different culture in the country. I think after that, the culture in the country has changed tremendously. Has changed tremendously. Oh, and see, what is happening now is very important that we go back to the fundamentals. Look at Workers' Brigade. Can we never put up Workers' Brigade just for its sake? You see, it created a pool of workers. The Workers' Brigade, they had a construction department, they had people who were, our army on police uniform. Why should we as a nation, go and import? Can't we have the factory here to produce the army uniforms, the police uniforms, the police boots? And that is what Workers' Brigade and those did. That was what we were doing. And I'm just saying, we ourselves must go back to my brother. We have to go back to the fundamentals again. Sometimes it's better to look at your past and then project your future.
But just emerging leaders, you know, and you build the country. So
when we talk about these things, you know, then that, you see, because we don't spend time talking about these things so that our mind will be focused on it. How many times we discuss these things? How many times we go back to our past and see what can we take from our past that was good, that we can propel us forward? No, we don't. How many times politicians sit down and reflect? It's good that they has brought this thing up this morning. And it's very important. Now, Boy Scout, do we see them? I remember when we see them in their uniforms, even when there's Independence anniversary. You see the Boy Scouts marching. These days, you see them. You are asking me this morning. I wouldn't know, but I'm saying that if you look at independence up to the early part of the 70s, you know, things have sort of we seem to have lost track.
So there was a trauma in this country in the 70s. In fact, that trauma wasn't only in this country. It was in the whole sub-Sahara Africa. There was one incident to be happening, which was the first oil crisis. It happened around the time of a champion, middle of the 70s, late 70s. Now that trauma, a lot of countries became stateless. Countries need to be on survival. Ebinum are still struggling. Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, Liberia, all of them, it happened because of that particular trauma. They happened just because of that particular trauma. Now, you see, that time. Now, since that time, all these countries have been struggling to get back on their feet. Yeah, sometimes, you know, program we go back to history. Mr. Moa, Monko pick more kaisen. So as I say, yeah, even with our development, yeah, still I in our level no. You could do here and sana sa trauma no.
Yeah,
buy. Na a disoriented here. Make us no say am ya ni subire. Na ni subire na de buy no. Still I nya bearings papa.
Yina na
so ye. Your politics are ye ni sa ni nyina no. Still I no tim say to sin kakra. Ghana, we have done very well as compared to the other countries, you know. Liberia, I think it's beginning to stabilize. In fact, who's affected the whole way? Nigeria affected home, Sierra Leone affected home. And I make us say, Srono de, affected Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan are still when you're enlightened leadership. All we are ready to compromise. Now be able to forcing way through. It will happen. It can even happen here. For some reason, you know, you consider the way as Abetanase. Near the common, near Kushia wedding, as any Akusha. It doesn't allow for that kind of explosion in a way you create. You encourage the side, you know. Yeah, let's disagree. Your politics in the end, but at the same time, you're within a framework. Say, me, child, no time and could do the edge. Those other countries, that's what they did. And no anymore could do baby afi 22. We have been lucky so far, but they said they were 1-4-7. Don't let's stretch it too much. You're local. Still, we should continue to work at it. we should continue to make sure say baby or why I see a compromise and a compromise baby or why I say we the interest yenya tisa de na se a young get to the level as you down for to trade to no na feel no ye values you be a ye abandon over the years ye picking them back now
see most of our youth today history of Ghana, I don't think a lot of them they are aware.
But there's a reason here. Probably the one also not aware. Maybe probably because of yes, the muja and no, I'm probably lose that interest because abakosem, ya mamre, ya ntiti ye jani now was bibia could be anima a sikanis anima. No God, someone a more track is no. Man interest as an ebony draw.
But you own him. You see, people who do not learn from their history are bound to repeat it.
Yes.
Your gatekeepers, are included your journalists. In fact, maybe dear about that we know, and yet a players you, a journalists, any your record keepers, on are disappointed. HSA, we need to bring back alive. Your practices be. I say, why once in a while, no. To say the program, it's one of the best programs I've ever seen in Ghana's journalism. Say, how was it like in the 70s? Tamani she bell bottom, and that's right. Hey, Nina no yiba, and no number will feel near TV. Me ba be TV, and dressing be betrayal. And I'm going to say more NTB. I'm going to say you. So I say NTB was all every time. Say more dressing as they say. I'm more mini skirt. More share. A buy and a sample. That's right. And a samba. So you know, never be bro. A court na samba. But if you are educated in your history, a bar who said in this city, maybe you may modify. Who's uncle the same thing.
Yeah.
By any munti. It's in almost one boy. She said they had no TV for more years. I would have wished to say all the other journalists, networks, institutions, as we once in a while, mobile take a trip or the memory lane. Now be a Marco Picky. Work. And yet the easy way. A man for be brave. Wouldn't make a joke with me. I've intentionally decided to say. May ye press where I will not write it. Even if I write it, I will not give it out. Now, may ye ne chi na media be bomochi. Because what happened is when we go to programs, there are no bar of the prepared speech by him. I dear betchino, and I be who person. No matter how important issues are, will be raising you. The only prepared speech, you know, by and I was a pressman. What would you make? No, I never was any up. They are two full test. Lazy journalism. Such as say, but we call journalist school. You show how to take notes and all of that, but they don't use it. It's the kind of quality worker as a ban. Of course, criticizing politicians in there. Ghana for more easy pastime. When you know we are pet, this is for name people for we now be DSika. Now, one more way of politics, and over you go over free moon. You go over free moon. And you go for ya. I did cook what Adabraka where the forest brother, or 200 way of forest road. Then they don't know tell your politician. Moon new crop for Koyoma, or more, and you're MP. It's the same Ghanaians. They are not different from say nipa no you're here or ye corrupt and as not doing your papa was sports more no about politics more and no or neighbor. You don't expect so baby behave any differently. Now yen say yen kakra we can't change it overnight. But kakra will be able to contribute to the kakra yeah they are building a society. Not only money. Say to cry. The only motivation is money. You are in trouble.
Well, I know another issue a bit to discuss. The entire money about that influential of late Ghana. Ghana for Dodona, no, he believes any BBI. That spirit of patriotism, no, dear. It's dried out. The entire ambassador probably at the right time. But my text message number 1760 I mean, I say on the 14th of February, Chocolate Day, no, Ushia Kwesiche Dakwa na ono edi dwuma pia ebema ni so ono hokani ene abusuan nyina no modi money kire Alisa Hotel North Ridge anyimenu num pepepe 14th January 2014 kwasi cheda kwa ene ni nuanu so wono wo entertainment industry ni association serious ko achede so nko mode ma omebe mo asere so kwa so nko so kra ene wachi so no ombe mo akwanya bi a obe kai utim da orishia odofu ama bibi etimi akoze kama enuane ahodo so ambudi abom na fe adwonto fonso ebeba be twa wo ho abonyum kama ewo ase make out say regular tickets no mecha single na 70 Ghana cedi so na couples 120 Ghana cedi VIP 150 Ghana cedi tickets upe bi ato aba multi TV unya bi ato sa na Joy FM kokomlemle ana say Alisa Hotel ana Max one of branches are and cry ana tema ana friend numbers sa number is 0244 340 421 0244 340 421 can who say this Valentine eni ho kwan say oyi ho film ebra de ho dom senior freak night out na we share the finest kwesiche dakwa na bibia timi akoso because wakayo say come do more book of condolence no you call Joy FM front desk where be at one we say oh nyini bibi and now churo bibi kama afan ho ama bibia so etimi akoso sansa make also akayo say installer training no na me ya duma on the 18th of March and ye shase na ye we on the 10th of April ebekoso asimfo su takwa akimoda donko krom nkoko brekum enkwanta denu tema yendi ana techiman ya mountete o digibox nsi sidi djuma na no chi ya ma 2 mia obetimi de asisi amanfo de say seem to be po eba ho fre multi tv ewa homa we so 0302211680 0302211680 ana 0244 340 415 0244 340 415 and I said 0243 40242 0243 40242 na also file forms so miamia mabrobo so achi na 50 Ghana cedi ntitieri nyina achi no ya ma certificate of participation na afi ya ma ID card assurance dia ebe ma tumi na watim dia dijuma okwanso ngoso e krakrakra no na ye ne wato sabo ma yididi akama e wo feso bio text message da ne 1760 what the prayer near Timmy Ajibre na etimi akinkan edi amount entempa yasema ye kosra ye kodin ko mo ye to so obo Sanska service for their bus na e twa to am ewura afi 2014 probably the last quarter in Ghana esika 7 to ye no ohwa na afi ye kwa enko ye ba emma na mebusa se o ma bia so nyina so ne sika 7 to ye ewura 2014 anye bia no ni da so no wo ho na pe the finance minister showed to akwam ministry na nkasa anamo wonu to aban so hye odi gu akwam ni pa sitem ni yedi no hwa nkwanhye na ni da so bi ho ana
yedi kan no omo information on the ba ade aba no ache your first quarter of the year after no presented the third quarter report. That is surprising to me. I would have wished to say, come back and come so I just say, Nanka by now, the first quarter report and come the last quarter at the end and come the first quarter. Advanced countries in India, what is happening in that same quarter, no cry, they're able to, of course, almost computerized on system in such a way, say it helps them. Yeah, dear. Still a manual. Now more amaku school director more statistical department in there. Still na enra but after be free he was about gymnast. Na or bank account or bank bi wa ha me modi no. And o kan so bank. Na me so me call my sister station Radio Gold. Oh. And also a bank. Until me can say, me to be in front because I was going to be managed. So, offer tax in command. Or buy him. Or buy was, hey, Max, what's wrong? No, what do you mean what's wrong? Was it they still do everything manual? Just write everything. How can you do that? Oh, no. By now, no. Yes, I can near my church in ye jai. Na statistical service. Almost they should have been leading the way. Third quarter, they're on the buy. I'm not surprised. So because so share breakdown of your GDP now. I'm teaching you into the various sectors. Your service sector, your way, even service sector, and you're breaking it down. And your war mining and oil. Your agric. And your construction. I'm breaking it down. Now, in doing that, you know, you hear say, a grew at the direction of economy, no, a grew. If baby, I will say, almost I can't want to say, your GDP portion be a bum, but not free. Or a bum, a bad, to say woofy. Near this car amount, what way you manage this car amount, but sky the man, no way you be. Now they are quite common or aunt. Sikano doesn't stay in your family. It goes to some place else. And it's even though you're more Sikano, and reflect on wealth. And no, na in show, papa. So, your GDP growth now. At any rate, you know. So, over the years, you know, and unfortunately, it started with President Mills. So, now, GDP growth, what kind of boom? GDP grew. I bet you can say we are 14%. But it's you come baby, you are breaking it down. Now there's a side sector we Ghana have. Sector a funny package agric. Sector a funny package agric. It is a GDP growth no. A core agrica. Now when you say Sikana Ebano, a core majority of Ghanaians. Say a core mining and oil. You said that sector no say Sikana eba Ghana for majority no echo outside. It is all share GDP growth in 2009 which is a very high 10 a high hit 14%, but now almost half of it a mining and oil sector. And John ya say the non-mining and oil sector you free man Dobe say a baby negative. Now the first time it was so high, because that was the time when I started to oil. A month for 2 oil, no. All the machines, machines no value, and the contractors no value no is part of the GDP no. You be more mining areas, also a part of your GDP no. It is so we no free man as construction eco-form, agric eco-form, and consistently no. Now eco-form last year in your marginal growth in the agric sector, but to I didn't know how. Oh, I do has a fancy how. Now for eco-form one bedroom say, now for basaya, a show group, but in general, it is still an recovery. It it has gone on consistently. Now, what these people are saying is, your projection a demand for 2013, you can see a big growth at 7.8. So what you say, which is still lower than the 14% chocolate, and it's still lower than the 8% for non-oil. No, at the buy. So 7.8, it includes the oil, and we're breaking it down into quarters. Not breaking it down into quarters. The third quarter, a show say growth no abafom. And say I'm picking up the last quarter I'm now making up for third quarter now. Why will show ni say afeno an ankoyi at any rate no afeno ankoyi. World Bank for also every economy no almost is different indicators, and what they are saying is 2013 ankoyi 2014 woman 7.8 are projected for 2030 cars here 2014 yenya. In fact 7.4 kwaya we are 2014 yenya. 2015 so ebete that is World Bank projection. To say the Kofo to a year of projection. Young one pay say all projection now on the aman. So I just say but
we are losing out about agriculture and construction.
No, they say crown even in the oil sector no crown abeka one. Because oil sector bar so first you call 14%. End of the subsequent years no oil sector no bar form. So I just say I say why you week no to cook. And that's why me and Huna sit around. And now I call them energy drink. And that's what they did. Energy drink, it boosts your energy. But after a while, I say, why continue now? But for 14%, energy drink. And they buy it. What has happened, they say, the projection is that 2014, I remember from 2015, I remember from 2016, and Sebeba Srokrana, and significant.
Right.
Yet medium term look, it doesn't look good. Neyamon Paya say, Bibi Bessisa, I'm happy, President Utukwai. On an enemua, Ebia, so I'm quite belly dancing. No, on an enemua, Neja, Yakako, you will be also the oil for the big woman, my 40%.
If you saw Sony Binidi away, say,
as you saw Swan, the Samotre, and Eba. Nipa, Ebe Juma. Esote HS find say construction omo growth no lower. What it means is say we obi a we former Emma construction company we mason ni manema unya adwuma kese because about for NC dan and as all new roads as much as they should have done. Agric sector say and grow that means say omo depending on farming no omo so ehon ba kire wo. There is a multiplying effect. And say utia CCA say you tua car udru anim ho abakoto nsuo no enti obi a ono te ho oton nsuo no through you no onso nye kakra eto nanim enti say usika so tia e affect ono enti there's a multiplying effect e wo mu say ba form a it means obi a or along the chain so ehon be kire no.
All right.
That is what it means.
1760 Chairman Ade.
Assembly nyanya there. We must add value to our raw materials and also start engaging in the export of our finished products. But if we are going to rely on the same economic structures now, a paradigm shifter. But China, go back 20 years in China. China, grow, pictures edification almost your sire a hat no mujina in some no mudia. But what did they do? They decided, look, we must seriously have a paradigm shift. Chinese for no. They start adding value. They started creating factories. Now they are exporting. The economy is growing. But if we are always going to be dependent on it to gold now, it to oil now, it to export it. SAS can export 90% of that Ghana. It stays out there. And we have to have a serious look at our economy. And also, how does the economy grow? Construction, in agriculture. Economy is near a grow because we have got a serious infrastructure deficit. Roads, bridges, housing, schools. Well, no more if we engage in this kind of things now, are there a multiply effect? It take place because obi oton wache, obi oton units, obi oton cocoa, obi construction site. Into year to also or and Emma a boost the economy. The only thing that we have to look within ourselves. We have to look within ourselves. Cocoa. How many cocoa processing factories have we got in the hinterland? Look, pineapples, oranges.
All right. Chama, yakwaba, yaba, obetuas, yakobre, yaba, obetuas. You try one, yaba, yaba, try and come on this one. Yakoso ada wase ne ada lucky about for us. I come to be edunisi ani pj mo and say but my main some of your text messages DB. My answer my kind my main koso kai was a book of condolence in honor of the late Governor Domo ebi ewo Joy FM front desk corner cultural bibi fan ho na enyine nyame adoma echina so that free no na ekonya no be kai ho memorial service for the late Governor Domo na bibibia intimi enkoso kama. When will government lift the ban on employment? Their ban so one far udin and kaho. Ken is right. Kofi Ghana does okay. Man who we the Kofi Ghana the mami say Kofi Ghana meet me who the oppressor catch Kofi Ghana. Ken is right. Kofi Ghana does me okay no okay me who Kofi Ghana the but yanko okay, from Abusian and Safa Brebi, Mehuni. It's time chiefs who sell government lands, government acquired lands, must be prosecuted. They are fond of that. God was second D, another way, Abre. I don't understand the reason why TDC are destroying some of the people's lands and properties. Also, are we refugees in our own country? At times, it's too sad to see this demolition going on, but I think we Ghanaians need to respect the laws of the land. Good morning to Chairman Ade. We free Kofi NDC. Please tell Minister of Road and Transport to look at Axim Elubu Road before it's too late, because the sand that they use to fill the road is too bad. From BR, Nodiaba. Honorable Kofi Juma has really made my day. Alaji Isa Seidu wa Kumasi and Adiaba. It looks in Ghana, when you have money, you can do anything. Tell them we will also go for Sikadro. Wow. And do that too. TDC must carry, not TMA, TDC must carry the blame for what's happening in Tema. Way free, Inspector Sam Kwame Yeboah of Takwa prisons. I know the somebody should come and save the people of Wa from criminals. The whole Ghana, Wa is worse in terms of crime. Zion, Wa, I know the May I know if Kofi Juma has done all that he is saying during did what he is saying during his government, when his government was in power, or when he was in office? Samuel Ofori, Anopei, Maria Hopa, Se Nkrofi. Okay, the police for their own. Okay, and today, Honorable Kofi Juma has done well from Ahmed Atebubu. Mr. Kofi Juma, please. Mr. Kofi Juma has spoken well, very mature. Other than that, by 5 years, Ghana will collapse. Looking at the picture this morning, I have come to agree with the WANEP report from Ukueni Kwame Asen Dompim. I don't know the way about Chairman Ade, why do you use the power offered you to punish only the innocent and allow the real offenders, such as land sellers and building inspectors, to go scot-free? Hey, Mr. Ode, and Chairman Ade, demolition. Don't send that signal cry. Where do you who say MP I sympathize with them. It is just Chairman Ade. You have to answer that. I think I saw the text message. Well, Chairman did Mr. Mamofa and Evans, Watakwa, today Mr. Juma has made me happy with his contribution. God bless you. No, but let a fear Vim lady come on Adom TV with the feel her Vim keke. from Obiba Bumplugu Yoyo. And then this one, oh my God, today Honorable Kufijuma has made my day. He has spoken well. This is what we expect from him. Ibrahim, well, and call me. I've lost your contact, your old friend, AB. Watakrade. Yeah, AB, I hear you. I'll do that. And then today's program is the best of all. Honorable Kufijuma, okay, your programs, Abdul Majid Osena Sena Deweyaba. Please, the junior officers of Ghana Immigration Service are suffering no rent allowance and medical allowance. They need uniforms. Please, Adom TV, help. We'll do that and we'll inquire to see the all kind of sanity here. Kofi, you are my president. Wow, I'm impressed watching you live on Adom TV. Keep it up. David Kankambodu and Adeweyaba. I want to ask if Adom TV have a reporter in Takwa. Yes, we have. If yes, where can I get him or her from? Mr. Aka. Mr. Aka, right after this program, no, just call, I can't say, your lines, no, I edit to 03022111. Nothing, anyone in come on that. And then this one says, in Upper East, Mr. Bashir Ibrahim has justified himself to these qualities. Allah, Bashir will win the position. Bashir is an achiever. And also they are Ode Abarano. Well, on this note, back to studio.
Oma quality panel program Ode ko football me bet to blows and the video mob up to two blows
yes. And the well we go me about party to end well. That said daily guide for so akubasu me.
Me say sorry next. In fact, also sometimes you know say otwa na bia wanya obi afro radio station be afro. Yes what can say. We say he kwara ko kan say we. They be wondering story no so what kind of story no different from what actually happened. There's a twist. Of course, I use the word to say minyanka me slap will be. That is I used it. But in a context they are completely different. Until kind of story now I feel be no idea what it was all about. If me I'll tell you, I'll jokingly say, oh, but me say me baby no me dem Canada. I've never touched any of my children. They say, do you want me paying for? Because but I've never done that. So I say, me kaida me to me sabo. But there was a perception out there, oh, papa need din. What me kum tefra anyway, maybe breakis have a perception about me, no. Now daily guide force so. Almost you know the picture we have a tour me send back on it be senior. More footy at which you
by people boko.
Oh yeah, so far elections do especially at the Bechama Yako to abadi nema they will say all kinds of things. I'm sure they amount for somewhere or they will say all kinds of things. And then all part of the political game. Obu or crown of a chain, a beca 2 days, and now dear Bechia. No said that the room will be about a film pine, trying to be too so. By the time I went to my different door, they are 12. It is all part of the political game I play. And you're unique to it's all over the world. And no one say more abano, and I also more enlightened about our game we because we'll be on all year cartoon so abano there. He will do almost anything to get elected. But more abano, mono nanyame edit 2 million ashamonsa. More exercising responsibly. Enko disikechi. In fact, obi obawo for Oscano. That is good reason enough not to vote for that person. Only akron in a way no do attempt. Sabi enye so ba be catch say kwasia enko na kwasia. Obi wo ba be catch say unimu nyansa. So je say uni adwene. Enu nti no jiwe na ya de amepe. Ye decide no sabio. Ye de yen kraman. Ye de yemwa. Aboye no atu abuagu aduane ego no abedi. No waye de ope. Enti say wo allow self so be ba say jiska neto aba in a way no nya kono a oma osika no we do atem we tutu say we aboa Wono de Nyankopon tumi odi ama won say hwe nipa no se di gina ho no hwe se di ositie hwe ne history hwe anasma all cultural hwe ade obetimi aye na no ho enti na yeso koto aba wo enkoto aba se nipa na ama osika enkoto aba se nipa na num onyam enkoto aba se nipa no kasakama yes ye wo beauty contest ye Miss Ghana eno ye kwa ye se we de no ho ofeni ye no ye were all kinds of contests. Yeah. No, na okwakoye. Koye because of this particular reason. Ye koto aba Adeko ka running for regional chairman of NDC. O sha Adeko ka say adwuma no obetimi aye anase otimi nye. Na sa Adeko ka ba no si disikade to Obama mia. In fact na Adeko ke ka jo wo a ugina ho no mi mu. Me tritu sakraman. Me tritu sa aboa. Me treat say the akukọ oye no atomu aguo no baba bedi then what they use you no they achechero no akuku and that is what happens in fact you know every day no people are telling people so new nyansa on this note no so you be to me the be mu de na me de make maybe the asante ready maybe they want to me
awo ye chema want to me
o to me nyame na de na mayen 36 year old obeka so 36-year-old wabobra enya sika. The constituency was sit down mako 52. I've never seen it. Eji se obi a onim ne nkwala bre hu nyansa wanko wia. Wanko kum nipa. Na waye adwumaden na oyesu ni nyansa etim dia yes ade no. Oye one of those child prodigies. Nyankopon esisa akola we se uza akola bu o uswa. We uswa nipa lawyer no.
Ablakwa.
Debbie lawyer ya obedi masa.
Amalibana.
Debbie we chachu. Young age no we law school. Yeah party me wa afia adwa safo. The same thing young age. Omo bu han Yakopon abo no say na junior very sharp. Omo the mixer no. And this is what you find is in this boy. 36. See that 52 in the constituency. I say, oh, he's an achiever. It is obi sano, but no say me be offer me home to more. And yes, a man no year campaign. Grab him. And that is why I see him want to me.
All right.
And I've known him me chen bebre. Me chen almost 30 years. So I've seen him in papa and I knew you penny madam for. I've seen him as a Bible student. Go this of all. And when young could do they politics. Na me hear them say, say akwa we say obey politics pa no abay pipi no anko ndisi nyame ne da na se oba mo ake o be kire
Chairman these are stories ya na how na especially we buy for
that ha me kra me ha me kra because once you know where it is coming from and the motive behind it now how because some me no can me Adeko kind of so me and it is all kind of yes say sometimes I be an say ahwene pan kasa ahwene pan kasa
let my word speak for
that's right it that the mission as me bo me bra
all right
as far back as 1983 in Ghana Football Association me a member representing Ogla that time the earlier stay on a chairman at that time I was 26 years old. And me a member of the Ghana Football Association. And you could see my rising in that. Odi mama mia, I do the best of my ability. Na me pese itu twankrofo ase undermining backbiting or no. See, that is one see I don't much that because football there you west football. Why a football that there way there you chicken feed? Because at the end of the day, no. You look at the ability of the person and whether the person will advance your progress. We are not talking about ourselves. We are talking about how to move this country forward. Because look at other countries, Dubai, China. It only the last 20 years and all these countries developed. We can do it.
All right.
We can do it. If we all come together and propel them, okay, to me, If the guy is good, and at that moment of time, no, it is God who has projected you. You human being cannot project yourself. Somebody somewhere. Kofi Juma didn't become Kofi Juma by his own merit, but by the good fortune of the Lord. Say, today I am bringing this man to be a shining star to the people of this country. All right, that is what life is about.
And that's it. I wish you well as over for re-election, Greater Accra Chairman NDC. And Chairman, won't to me, minimum there, but there may be a truck run. You can say a truck, you know, picture the town. But the amount for can sanity, there. Let it reflect. The mayor of Adom will be lead the Ashanti Region MPP. Let it reflect in your administration. And welcome to the game of politics. And I pay Wabako Sem Jason Kao, yeah, so for cry until we say, what we rap politics in there. Is a whole.
Still, a woman,
yeah, they see how to say, all of which were CP. Chairman Adesio Dasipi, Meda Ampedu as a director, no matter Dominic Kisin, as a makeup force, Madam Wasi, camera, sound, light, production assistant, Delali and Grace, Madam Munina Wasi, Madam Man in the Cobna Santi, be Pejamimu, Ama, Nana, before, but Namea Adom, now or the Chinaso chair, Yebishia, Ewa. Bye bye.